Do you know how much volunteers are get paid? Well, there is one person who say that volunteers are paid in 6 figures, which are SMILES, that is smiles. Okay, then who are the volunteers? So volunteer is a person who dedicates his or her time and strength on helping other people willingly and without being forced or paid to do it. In general, it is considered a selfless activity, and it's intended to promote goodness and to improve quality of human life. In return, this activity can produce a feeling of self-respect. Besides the amazing feeling that you get, volunteering is also renowned for skill development, socialization, and fun. On the other hand, volunteers fill in many gaps left by the government and other business organizations, meeting in social needs and delivering problems like human rights, environment, and many other issues. Although volunteering makes an important economic contribution to the society as a whole, and sadly in Mongolia, we still do not have any official statistics about volunteer contribution. One interesting fact is that the first survey on volunteerism in Mongolia, held in 2001, shows that 85% of the youth who interviewed in this research shows you have volunteered because of the self-development and new skills. And like myself, the first time I searched for a volunteer job, my intentions were like gaining new skills and to have some work experience on my CV to look good. At that time, not really truly understood the meaning of volunteerism. Serving as a volunteer is also gives you the great opportunity to understand cultural difference. At some stage of my volunteer experience, I have heard that many people saying Mongolians do not really appreciate or understand volunteer work. Well, it's just sometimes very hard to see people's feeling, especially like us, people with like less, not very emotional, with less face expressions. However, our society always been developed and survived based on the unwritten tradition of mutual help or support to each other. So what can you do in order to make a positive difference in your community? You can do almost anything. First, you sit, look around you. Moreover, you believe it that you can make a change, and then you act on it. For example, local schools are always in need of something. You can help running after-school clubs, or you can help doing tea time at the primary classes, or even you can organize fundraising events at your local schools, and so on. Not always your volunteer work will reach the desired result, but you always learn something from it. And finally, volunteerism is in our culture, so keep it on and pass it on. Thank you.
I was born in a small town in a small country, almost 20 times smaller than Mongolia. I had a quite normal childhood, at least as normal as a Czech kid can have. I had beer before I was allowed to. I copied loads of my homeworks from my classmates, and I spent hours and hours in front of TV. I was doing basically nothing. I had no idea there was something like volunteering. The only image that came to my mind when you said volunteering was old Czech TV news showing young people enjoying hops harvesting and thus contributing to the implementation of the 5-year plan. Everything changed after I entered the university and started studying international development studies. I was surrounded by people who were only 19 years old, but they were so open, traveled and experienced, and involved in so many activities, from helping a local museum to organize an exhibition, to spending time with kids in a hospital. I realized I can do more than just watch a telly and chat with my friends in my free time. I can join an organization, I can join an informal group, or even be alone, but I can do something for the people around me. And I did. I joined different organizations, for example, a local volunteer group promoting fair trade. I met so many amazing people, and I made friendships that last until now. Volunteering gave me a sense of engagement and belonging. I was doing something good and purposeful. I was active, and I was able to take action. Then my mom took me to India. First time in Asia, first time in a developing country. I was shocked. Until then, I hadn't seen a reality so different from mine. Because you see, in India, it's just incredible. Deep poverty in both senses of the word, negative and positive. Deep poverty and enormous wealth live literally next to each other there. Slum next to a five-star hotel, half-naked kid on the street, passed by a modern great Mercedes. But it wasn't just about despair. There was hope and resilience, especially in the community of Tibetan refugees that I fell in love with, and whose situation in India is not really good. People were trying to change that, and they were looking for help to do it. Whole Dharamsala was full of flyers, searching for volunteers to teach English to help repair a roof. I saw that I can help people not only in my own country, but I can also devote my time and skills to people who need it but live seemingly far away. So I started to volunteer with a Czech NGO working in India with Tibetan refugees. I went to India with them twice, and I did different things, from teaching to building a tailoring shop to coordinating a sponsorship program. And I've seen with my own eyes that volunteering can really make a change in the daily lives of people. But my path of a volunteer hasn't been always easy. After India, I went to Bangladesh, and I had quite a culture shock, let me tell you. Bangladesh is a Muslim country, it's overcrowded, and very few people speak English. As a foreigner, you get a lot of attention. You're like a monkey in the zoo. And it's Bideshi, Bideshi, foreigner, foreigner. And people think in a very different way than we Europeans do. I really tried to help my host organization, but it took me a long time to prove that I'm not just another white foreigner who came to save poor Bangladeshi people, but that I'm actually capable of doing something for them. I learned the hard way that many times as a volunteer, you can't start your work, let alone to see results of it right away. Often as a volunteer, you need to be really patient and determined. Even though Bangladeshi often drove me crazy, they are the most hospitable people I've ever met. I learned to accept and love our differences. I became aware that even though the other cultures and mindsets might be different than from the ones that you have, that it doesn't mean that they are different. And after 5 years of volunteering, I'm here in Mongolia, 6,000 kilometers from my home. And I'm serving for the United Nations as a UN Youth Volunteer. After 5 years of volunteering, I'm standing here in front of you, so many Mongolians who are the future of their beautiful country. Thanks to volunteering, I'm a person that I have never dreamed I would be. Thank you.